if you look at sex assault and rape, that's probably 50, 60% of what we do. Sex assault and rape, then we have BAH, fraud or larceny, violent offenses. But when we distill down to the cases we're trying over and over and over, it's sexual assault and rape. Those cases when there would be a conviction, and we win these cases routinely, but I can't win every case, we're seeing 12 months confinement, 18 months confinement on the high end. Now, if it's a sexual assault offense, you have a minimum 30 to a maximum of 10 years, a category 3 offense. So what we were seeing 6 months for is now a minimum of 30 and a maximum of 10. The odds of you getting the minimum with the military judge are almost de minimis. Because remember, it's a 06 military judge that is sentencing you, not the jury. The 06 military judge is going to want to look tough on crime. They're probably former prosecutors. They are probably influenced as well, or potentially, by everything that's going on in the military now. So the notion that you have a 30 months to 10-year sentence, you're going to get the minimum, that's a pipe dream. You're probably getting 5, 6, 7 years for that offense. Again, and that's one offense where a jury previously might have given you 6 to 12 months. Now you're probably getting 6 or 7 years. Now let's look at the next level of a rape. You have sexual assault and rape, and the elements are different. But if you get convicted of a rape, we were seeing 18 months before. Now, viewers may say, 18 months for rape is absurd, but these aren't jump out of the bushes rapes. These are drunk sex where you have two consenting adults, usually are intoxicated, have sex, and one claims to be too intoxicated to consent. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's what we deal with. Now, if you're convicted of rape, you have a 10-year min and a 20-year max. So maybe you were receiving 18 months for that before, maybe 24 months for that before from a jury, 36 on the high end in terms of 1 to 3 years. Now a judge has 10 to 20 years to play with. And again, do you think a 06 colonel or Navy captain is going to now start giving all the minimums? You don't think this is tracked? You don't think their judicial record is tracked? You think they want to stay on the bench and their record is looked at, and PPTO or the powers that be that detail and place these judges in this position? If you have a judge that just gives out the mandatory minimums for every sex assault case, how long do you think they're going to be on the bench for? Let's just be real here. Do you think they're going to be on the bench for multiple tours? No, they're going to be on the bench for one tour and gone. And someone who's going to be, quote, tougher on crime is going to stay on the bench. That's just the reality of the world we live in particular in the military. So maybe you were going to get a 1 to 3 year sentence, which sucks, but is manageable. It's a manageable sentence. Now you're getting a 15-year sentence, an 18-year sentence, a 20-year sentence, and these can get stacked. And so these don't have to necessarily run concurrently. They can run consecutively. So let's say you get sentenced consecutively. Well, you've done your first 15 years. Great. Now, guess what? You get to start and do your next 15 years if you had 2 charges. And so that's the result of this, is service members are going to get their lives destroyed under these guidelines. I hate guidelines. I am a huge opponent of these guidelines because they box judges into sentences which are not appropriate for every service member. And also they're going to affect the charging decisions. Because now what's going to happen is the folks at OSTIC, they're smart. And what they're going to do is they're going to start charging higher level offenses in order to maybe they want a category 3 offense is appropriate for sexual assault. Well, they'll charge a rape as a category 4. So now this accused is facing a 10-year man-min, and then they'll say, we'll plead it down to a level 3 offense, when it should have been a level 3 offense to begin with. So I think you're going to see gamesmanship on the charging decisions, and I think you're going to see extensive sentences. I have been an opponent of this since as far as I can remember in this practice of law, and I was going to rue the day that these came into existence, but they're here. We deal with them. It's going to have to cause us to up our game in the trial work, and service members need to be on guard because the potential to have your life ruined at a court-martial has just gone up dramatically. I can't overemphasize that enough. If you're under investigation for or have been accused of a crime that occurred in 2024 or after, you are facing harsh punishments under the mandatory sentencing guidelines. Please reach out to us so we can explain these guidelines to you and how to actually win your case and not end up in prison. You can reach us at 813-669-3500 or book a consultation with me on our website at www.bileckilawgroup.com.